Hi, I'm Professor Beck Strah.
And I'm producer Brit, and you're listening to the news. It's the news, put on your new shoes, 'cause it's time to get up off your chair and hear the news without a care. Said it's the news. Wash away your blues, 'cause it's the prison news.
This just in. Ahoy, dudes.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, Producer Brit. How's it going?
Splendid. How are you doing this fine Sunday morning?
Let me see. Pretty great. Over here in the northeast of the United States, we are preparing for a blizzard.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And so, yeah. Oh, it's pretty dope. And so we're going to spend a few days mostly hanging out indoors. That's what we have to look forward to.
Yep. The weather here is 46 degrees and cloudy with a high of 52 today. We're not getting snow anytime soon.
How do you feel about a blizzard, though?
Depends. Are you talking about like the one you're getting in the Northeast or the one I'm getting later at Dairy Queen?
I'm talking about both. I think they're the same.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They're similar. They're both cold.
You can eat them both.
Children generally like both of them for different reasons. Yeah, that's about it. I'm sure both have caused quite a few car accidents at this point.
I bet both have caused deaths too. I bet people have died on a blizzard. It's hard to choke on something that's like smooth ice cream.
Sure it is.
But you can.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
Dairy Queen related deaths, they do happen. Watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave your home.
DQDs.
DQDs. That's what they're filed under at corporate.
Yeah, the Dairy Queen death folder. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to read like a criminological study on like each fast food restaurant, like who gets robbed the most, which one has the most. I mean, non-crime related deaths, but which one has the most related deaths?
Per capita, what fast food restaurant do you think has the most shootings?
It's got to be McDonald's just by pure existence of like more restaurants. But
well, that's why I'm saying per capita.
I'm inclined to say Burger King.
Yeah, same. I was actually going to say Burger King. Burger King seems like the place that you'd go to do a shooting if you needed to do a shooting. I feel like too many people would be like, no, we're not going to do the drive-by at McDonald's. That's like hollowed ground. That's like the place we go to eat. And they're like, how about Burger King? And they're like, yeah, no one cares about Burger King. No one's going there.
Let's go to the drive-through at McDonald's.
Right. That's exactly what they say.
It's a plan for it's a drive-through, a drive-by, and a drive-in theater is the third one that we didn't work into this complex mathematics.
Yep, you definitely landed that joke.
Complex mathematics.
So, what's in the news today?
Well, let me start us out with a story coming to us from the Marshall Project in an article by Beth Schwartzapfel. Mm-hmm. So, the federal prison system, it will stop providing gender-affirming and social transition care to transgender people. Okay. As of last Thursday, the policy says that gender identity is disconnected from biological reality and sex and does not provide a meaningful basis for identification. And this move comes after 9 years of federal policy that says otherwise, that allowed for gender-affirming care and allowed for like hormone therapy, allowed for surgery. And it affects more than 1,000 non-gender conforming people across our country who previously did have access. All right, now, are you familiar with this move at all?
Yes, I heard about this, and I am. I don't feel too good about it. I feel pretty bad about it.
Yeah, that's a good way to feel about it, because the new policy says trans people do not get access to surgery or clothing or toiletry items that align with their gender identity. I am curious about the clothing items, and that in the prisons and jails where I've like worked in any capacity, everyone wears the same uniforms essentially. Like they'll have different sizes
Right.
for men and women, but I'm curious to know like what clothing items would fit under this type of policy.
It's not like, you know, it's not like the prison. They're like, okay, men, you get the jumpsuit. Women all get tea dresses. All the women get tea dresses. So that's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Your halter top and your tank top. Like,
right.
there's no,
we're going to issue you your club outfit, ladies. Like,
yeah, exactly. You get a sequins top and you get a button-up shirt.
Polyester pants.
A club outfit. In case there's like an intramural dance.
Sure. Or they're doing a lot of those like father-daughter dances at prisons now.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen a couple of those in the news, which is pretty cool. Good for them.
It's a start. Mm-hmm. So the new policy, they are now using the term sex trait modification surgery in the policy to replace the term gender affirming surgeries for what they call gender dysphoria.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think what they're aiming for is they're attempting to alter culture and how people talk about these issues by changing a few words in policy. Time will tell how effective it is, but it is one of those things where I think too often people see like what the government does and then they follow because they're not thinking critically about it.
Right.
And so they're changing the language. Anyone in prison on hormone medications is expected to taper off. And instead of like hormone medications or surgery, they are offering psychiatric medications and therapy, which can lead to some pretty shitty effects. Do you know what happens to people when they go off of hormone therapy?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Like it can like put you like into a deep depression. Yeah, it's just not good for people and their mental health at all.
It's not good for your brain, but it's also like physiologically, it can lead to. I think it will, based on the side effects here. It sounds like it mimics menopause in some ways, where it's like hot flashes and mood swings and insomnia. It affects your bone density that can leave you like more vulnerable to breaks or fractures. And all of this bleeds down from an executive order that was signed in 2025 by the president, which stipulated that the federal prison system shall ensure that no federal funds are expended for any medical procedure, any treatment, or any drug for the purpose of conforming an inmate's appearance to that of the opposite sex.
Now,
that's the wording in the bill.
I just did the math. I want you to guess what percent of the prison population currently receives gender-affirming care.
Oh, I'm going to guess it has to be like 0.5% or less.
It's less. It's 0.08%.
So less than a tenth of 1%.
Correct.
It's all it is culture war shit. It's posturing, and I think it is so wildly unnecessary. And people will look at it. They're trying to also have this perception like, oh, we're saving a lot of money from all these trans inmates in the system. But that's not true.
No.
They're not saving that much money. There's not that many trans inmates in the system.
No, that's the thing that like conservatives and, you know, transphobes and anti-trans folks completely underestimate is just how few people are there that they're railing against and that they're trying to do a culture war against. Like, I was listening to something on transgender people in sports the other day, and the NCAA has had rules around transgender people in sports for years, decades. And in as much, there are, at any time in the country, typically about 10 or less trans people in NCAA sports, most of them team sports. So, like, it's not based on, their individual contributions anyway. It's a team effort. And like, the couple ones, like the one that tied with like Riley Gaines that are out there that are competing on an individual level, a lot of them aren't that good. It's hard to be good at a sport, especially like being at the top of like, collegiate level. And so like, the catalyst for this basically was Riley Gaines tying in 5th place with a trans person. And I'm like,
and Riley Gaines has since become like this ambassador for the subject.
Almost a martyr for the cause. And I'm just like, why?
But Riley Gaines came in 5th. Riley Gaines,
right. If she got second place to a trans person, I get it. But she didn't even medal. She's not good. And neither is the trans girl who got 5th place. She's not good either. It's fine. People can be bad at sports. You don't need to be mad about it. You don't need to be mad that you got 5th place. That's a ridiculous response.
Well, we will argue that these are still like Olympians, so they're good, but they're just not the
no. They're not Olympians. They are. So
I thought this was Olympics.
No. Riley Gaines was NCAA, so college level, but on the Ivy League circuit, which is one of the weaker circuits because, they don't usually, like Harvard isn't like, oh, we need all the best sports teams. They spend a little money on it, but that's not their main focus, And so,
sure.
Like these places aren't known for sports in the first place. And so you're getting 5th place in like a 5th place division. It'd be one thing if, you were at like, if you were a Buckeye or a Tar Heel or something like that, someplace that actually spent money on sports. But, Riley Gaines is just a loser in a loser's game.
Loser's game. Yeah. And I listened to whatever that was as well. And I've heard that figure before of like 10 or less trans athletes total in the NCAA. And it's surprising every time because it's, the powers that be, the people in the media who talk about these issues try to paint the issue with the broadest strokes to make it seem so much more widespread. And it's not. It is so isolated. And you are wasting your time developing these like broad sweeping policies to address 10 people. Again, it's all culture war shit that's trying to distract from bigger issues that are about quality of life.
Yeah. And once again, you're getting mad at 10 people with absolutely no power whatsoever. What's the point? They're not doing anything to you. They have no ability to do anything to you ever, except tie for 5th place in swimming.
Well, if they did have power, then they wouldn't be bullying them in the first place. It's like looking for like who's a weak link that we can go after and face very few political repercussions. Oh, let's go after the powerless. Great. So yeah, it's all a power calculus. And the ACLU and others involved with defending transgender persons, they say they're pressing on. They want to get the clients the care they need. Again, it's more culture war shit. And there's also a memo the Trump administration issued in December to PREA auditors. And so PREA, are you familiar with PREA?
No.
So PREA, as of 2003, it was signed into law. It is the Prison Rape Elimination Act. And anytime that there is an accusation, any kind of incident that takes place in any jail or prison that is rape or sexual assault related, this is like inmate on inmate, this is CO on inmate, it can be either. There are auditors who are independent of the prison system who are hired to go through each prison and each jail and look through the cases that have been filed by inmates and do follow-up to make sure that the prison is doing all the right things, taking all the right actions.
Sounds reasonable.
And in this case, they are put into place in part to keep transgender people safe from sexual assault. And PREA requires that when we're housing transgender people, whoever's dealing with their housing should give serious consideration to the inmate's own views with respect to his or her safety. Essentially saying, hey, ask inmates in part like where they would feel safest. That's what that would tell me.
That makes sense.
And we know that it's rare to have specific housing for trans and gay inmates. The LA County Jail is one of the few I know of that actually has a unit for this, and it's called K6G. And they have a couple of COs who are like very well oriented with the gay bars in the area, for example. And they'll ask them questions like, hey, what are the gay bars in the area? They'll ask them like essentially questions to see if they're passing.
Sure.
As a quiz for entry, because they want to make sure that there's no predators, there's no wolves in the hen house.
You know, part of me wants to get like arrested just so I can go through this process. This sounds pretty fun. Did I pass the gay test?
So it's pretty rare. So LA County has that, but most places don't, in part because there's not enough gay or trans inmates there to warrant it,
right?
And in part because of budgeting, and in part because the prison systems don't care enough. So
let me
balance these.
Yeah, right. Like they say they don't have the budget or anything, but it's well known that most carceral systems will go to lengths to house sex offenders and ex-cops completely separate from other populations because they are far more likely to be victims of violence from other inmates.
True. This is often in like max housing though too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's protective custody, and sometimes it'll be in an open unit, but often it will be like it will seem punitive in its orientation. And I've seen trans inmates housed like that, where I've seen trans inmates housed in general population, but I've also seen them housed in max units.
What?
And we should be able to have some discretion on what does this person want as an inmate. Like, do they feel like they're going to be victimized within the jail population? If yes, then maybe we lean on the side of caution and give them protective measures. If not, then at their own discretion, they can go into the Gen Pop. I think that there's something to that, that at least we shouldn't necessarily cater to all inmates and give that, but for somebody who's at exceptionally higher risk of being sexually victimized, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
What does this harm?
Right, and it ultimately it's going to probably save time and money to the system.
Yeah. Yeah. And trauma that could be incurred by somebody. Like, put them where they feel most comfortable. It is a sensitive issue. I get that, but sensitive issues require sensitive solutions, and not just simple solutions that are like black and white like this.
Totally agreed.
So I should say that it is pretty rare for anyone to actually have gender conforming surgery in the prison system to date.
Yep.
And this is something that carries on across administrations, across party lines. But the new policy, it's not helping anyone. And the language has been the language around this new policy and executive order has been compared to that from a 2024 policy that experts likened to conversion therapy, the discredited practice that claims to cure homosexuality. So we don't necessarily need to. Prison should not be a conversion therapy camp.
No.
And I will end the news story on that note. How is your news? Is it breezier?
My news is pretty good, but before we get to the news, I think it's important we give a shout out to our sponsor, the Roger Williams School of Justice Studies in beautiful Rhode Island. Offering degree courses in public administration, cloud computing, legal studies, forensic science, cybersecurity, and networking.
Whoa.
Digital forensics. Degree in cyber specialism. We got public management. And then coming in at number 2, we got the big boys in criminal justice. And number 1 with a bullet, my very favorite, our very favorite.
Tell me. Leadership. Never gets old.
No. So yeah, thank you so much for your patronage, Roger Williams School of Justice Studies in beautiful Rhode Island.
Roger Williams University, come check us out.
Please.
Yeah, we were missing our comrade today, Eric Bronson, who could not join due to an internet issue. But you know what? Eric would be here if he could, and he would say, we love the Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies. So if you're interested, email ebronson@rw.edu or hit him up on Instagram @profbronson and tell him, hey, we also support the Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies.
Heck yeah. So, moving on, we got some more news.
Moving right along onto some more news.
So, this one comes out of Missouri, and this is from the Missouri Independent, written by Noah Symes. Article's titled, Missouri Senate Weighs Standardizing Minimum Prison Terms and Repealing Conditional Release. So, a group of bills standardizing mandatory minimum prison terms and repealing conditional release provisions was debated by a Missouri Senate committee on Wednesday. The Senate Judiciary Committee discussed 3 bills sponsored by Republican Senators Curtis Trent of Springfield, Jill Carter of Granby, and Joe Nicola of Grain Valley, which include identical provisions for restructuring prison time requirements. So currently, the amount of prison time required to serve before parole is based on the specific charge received. These bills would standardize prison time to a range based on the class of the felony conviction rather than the specific charge. So, it'd be more like if you're a Class C felony, you get a certain block of time. Class B felony gets a bigger block of time. Class A felony, so on and so forth.
What would be the motivation behind this? Because it feels like it decontextualizes the crime so much more.
Exactly.
To give a block of time.
Yes. And I think that's by design. They want to decontextualize things because it's not about your specific crime, your specific indiscretion, or the mitigating factors that go into it. It's all about punishment.
Yes, it feels like it's all about like efficiency rather than due process, like
yes.
the crime control model, where it's just like conveyor belt justice.
Yes. So prisoners convicted of Class A felonies such as first-degree murder would serve at least 60 to 80% of their prison term by this law. As felonies decrease in class, the percentage range decreases as well. This creates what Senator Trent calls a, quote, fixed minimum parole eligibility. Eligibility requirement for prison time. So Trent said these bills give attorneys, judges, the public, and, quote, especially victims, a clear and predictable outcome. So you heard it here, folks. This one's for the victims.
This one's for the victims.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Locke Thompson, a prosecuting attorney from Cole County, testified in favor of the bill and said this would lead to more transparency. Oh, really? A prosecuting attorney wanted simpler laws that make their job easier, even if it means incarcerating people unduly? Wild.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about it on the podcast, but the issue of prosecutors having way too much power should come up more often.
No, we should definitely do an episode on that because, like prosecutorial minimums and stuff like that, and like the structure by which most prosecutors operate is draconian and causes a lot of the problems that we see later down the road.
Yeah. And their like win-loss record keeping is all it's all very silly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the clearance rate is like a big reason why our entire justice system is messed up.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't base our justice system on such things.
Mm-hmm. So
on somebody's winning record versus losing record. People are competitive. People are going to struggle for like I define myself based on my win record. Right. When your win record also counts all these plea deals that you're talking people into.
Right. And it's like a thing. I don't think we should be distilling like stories and events and like very complicated, nuanced situations just into the framework of like letters and numbers. You did this, you get this. It's about so much more than that.
It takes out all the discretion in decision making. It's problematic, and then it totally decontextualizes the whole crime. It makes it it removes any motivation. It just turns it into this guilty, not guilty binary. And then if you're guilty, then you're serving this amount of time, which is like, I don't know, doesn't intent matter? Doesn't circumstances of the crime matter? Yes, they do, and they should.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things. Like, of course, this was brought up and is being spearheaded by entirely like conservative state legislators. Yeah, it's frustrating because, like, they want to decontextualize everything. They want to turn everything into a numbers game so they don't have to worry about it, and so they can quote unquote save money on it. But this is going to lead to people being imprisoned for longer, I'm sure, which is not going to save anybody money.
No, it doesn't help our system of mass incarceration. Like, it's been recognized for bipartisan reasons at this point. Like the right is focused on cost, the left is focused on humanitarian reasons, but both sides acknowledge that there is a real issue around mass incarceration in our nation. When we do stuff like this, it does nothing to alleviate mass incarceration.
No. Nope, it aggravates it. So continuing on, the prosecutor here, Locke Thompson, who was speaking, says, quote, "When I'm trying to tell a victim how long their attacker is going to go away, unless there is a minimum set in the specific statute, it's really, really hard, if not impossible," Thompson said. So we're making this law so, the prosecutor is a little bit less confused about his job. So that's important.
Smarter prosecutors.
Perhaps.
If I have a prosecutor who's confused about their job, then I want a different prosecutor.
Right. Also, like, this guy's name is Locke Thompson.
I know. I love that name. I was going to comment on that. I think that's a really cool name.
It's I don't know. It's such a name that, like, of a guy who only wears shirts that say like 1776 would give his son.
But he will also someday be the star of a Clyde Cussler novel.
Sure. Like, I'm surprised his name isn't like Jefferson Adams Thompson or something like that. So,
yeah. How many presidents can we work into a name?
All of them. I've got 50 names. So, conditional release occurs once a set percentage of a prison sentence has been served, and it mandates that a prisoner be released under supervision unless there is a reason barring their release. All prisoners have a required period of up to 5 years at the end of their sentence, during which they can be supervised under conditional release until their time is fully served. All the bills heard Wednesday would eliminate mandated conditional release. So Mallory Roosh, executive director of Empower Missouri, an anti-poverty advocacy organization, testified against the bill. She said these bills go too far in repealing conditional release, saying, quote, "Doing away with conditional release without simultaneously reforming the state's parole process, we believe, would have a lot of unintended consequences," Roosh said.
No. Roosh is wrong. It would have a lot of intended consequences.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. And, this, you look at, we watched, you can go back and listen to our last podcast about the Alabama solution. And we find that parole, during that time that it was filmed, like, parole in that state, in Alabama, had dropped to the lowest it had ever been, to where only like 15% of people eligible for parole were being paroled. And it was costing the state a lot of money and causing huge overcrowding issues. Like, this isn't going to help anybody.
Yeah. Oh, it's bananas. And it makes the problem worse and worse. And there's no release lever on it. It's adding to overcrowding. It's building in job safety for prison industries and the prison industrial complex, but that's it. That's not enough.
Indeed. So Roosh added that conditional releases where prisoners can undergo supervised rehabilitation and acclimate to living in a community outside of prison. Roosh also said she is concerned about the legislation's reliance on parole boards, saying, quote, "The proposed changes to the sentencing structure rely heavily on the parole board functioning fairly and effectively. Without any reforms being made to that process while implementing these bills, we think it's going to come at a very large cost to the state," unquote.
Yeah, in a sense, it's decontextualizing. Like, getting rid of conditional release is also decontextualizing people's actions in prison as well.
Sure.
So it's just treating everybody with a blanket. You are the same. You are but a number. And I know that that's what prison's supposed to do, but these are also people's lives, and they are not treating it as such. They are treating people like they are the CEOs, and these are like the peons. They're ants to them, and it's so backwards in terms of how to actually rehabilitate anybody. If you don't want these people to commit crimes again, like, let's look at the numbers and actually, like, what does the evidence say? How long should somebody be locked up before, and like, what program should they take before they are not likely to offend again? We should be looking at that rather than just uniformly, let's get rid of conditional release.
Right. And also, not only that, but like, everything is so systemic. Like, we got to look at like what's going on with them on the outside. What's their support system? What's their support network? Once they're released, either paroled or otherwise, are they going to need full support networks, or do they have people that they can rely on? Like, there's so many factors that go into, not only like incarcerating someone, but trying to give them success on the outside to where, reoffending is not an option or not a good option to them.
Right, exactly. And it can decontextualize that entirely. It also gets rid of any kind of like, what if some of these people are parents? I'm sure some of them are parents, but some of them are parents with custody of their kids, and the kids need them. They're needed as like a breadwinner in the family. There's stuff like that it totally removes from the equation and just treats them like, you're bad. You should be incarcerated longer, which is unhelpful at best.
Right. It makes me wonder, kind of, we know famously how people on the right wing absolutely hate single mothers. It makes me wonder, like, how many of these mothers are being kept single by a carceral state that refuses to, let their partner go.
It's a good point. There's also been some research I've read on like marriageability, where if somebody's done time, like their marriageability goes down.
Sure,
so if you were to, like, I'm sure a lot of these policymakers are looking at them like, oh, your social score is not high enough to get married to people because you can potentially drag them down if they're supporting you while you're in prison.
Right.
If you get, and statistically, people are more likely than not to be reincarcerated within another 10 years if they've been incarcerated before.
Interesting. Oh.
Yeah, it's all very problematic. But this is an interesting story, and we'll keep an ear on the ground as it develops. So is this up for a vote, or is this policy going through right now?
Currently up for a vote, yeah. And they're still hearing arguments on the floor, as of the writing of this article, at least.
Missouri, we want better for you.
We really do. Do better, Missouri.
Yeah, that's an order. Hey, and if state of Missouri, if you have any retorts to that, you can email us at ebronson@rwu.edu or look up Prof. Bronson on Instagram.
Yeah, and if anyone we mentioned in the article wants to come on and give their piece, we'd be glad to hear from you.
Yeah, please. You get to debate Eric Bronson.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the news for the week.
That's all the news we can lose. Let's get out of here.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us. And once again, let's give a big shout out to our sponsor, Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies.
Applause. Applause button. Yay.
No.
Do you not have an applause button?
I do. I don't want to scroll through it because I'm on the page right now with the lights out ending song, and I don't want to have to scroll back to it. It's a whole thing, and the thing it is laziness, pure laziness.
Lights out, baby.
Lights out.